Or not you?
It's live.
Oh, we're live.
Yay!
Yay! Hi.
Yay! Hi everyone.
I have
Hi,
one earring on.
people.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us for our live discussion of two of the greatest animated TV shows of all time, Avatar: The Last Airbender and its sequel, The Legend of Korra. First of all, an obvious spoiler warning for everything that happens in both shows. I'll probably be referencing comics and other canon material. So if you're into those, please bring them into the discussion. We encourage you to answer our questions, participate in the discussion in the chat. Today we will answer basic Avatar quiz questions like what element we are. You should see that in our little banners here. We'll discuss some fan theories, the upcoming Netflix live action show, and most importantly, a little on the heavier side, the influences of Asian language, martial arts, culture on the show, and its popularity in the Asian American Pacific Islander community. If you are not familiar with Wear Yellow Proudly, we are an Asian advocacy and arts organization. We are an Oral Compass Projects initiative. Michael Lewis there is the founder of Oral Compass Projects, and we were founded back in May after the pretty marked increase in anti-Asian attacks and the calling of the COVID-19 virus, the Chinese virus, and anything like that. So please check out our Facebook and YouTube where you're watching now. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube. We put out new content every week. And yay! Okay, so before we get started, a brief moment of silence for Brian Konietzko and Michael DiMartino leaving the Netflix production. We really hope, we're looking forward to Netflix production, but we hope that it ends up better than Game of Thrones Season 8. Okay. So, do we want to talk about casting for the potential show?
Ooh. Like our dream cast?
Yeah.
Ooh. Should we just start off at the top, and then Jesse, do you want to like shout out a character, and then we'll?
Sure. Actually, sorry. Let me put up the drinks before we start that. Let me just do. Okay, so here's my preferred cocktail. So if you are, or 4 cocktails for the 4 nations, if you would like, you can make one of these at home right now. The Airbender, the Waterbender, the Earthbender, and the Sozin's Comet, which is what I'm drinking. Mine is not lit on fire, unfortunately, which would really make it the Sozin's Comet. But here, I'll put this in the chat.
Oh my god, the Waterbender and the Earthbender, the Water and the Earth one sounds really good.
I know, they both sound really good.
Right?
Actually, the Airbender one sounds really good too.
Yeah. Okay, so you can click those in the chat if you want to make those cocktails. Okay, so yeah. Okay, let's just start with the main 4: Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Toph. And I guess and Zuko, main 5.
Oh my god, that's so hard.
I think I want
There's so many.
I want like Simu Liu to be Zuko.
Yes. Yep. Oh, also maybe we should kind of mention that, like, I think we hope that the creators will age up the characters a little bit. So like that Aang will be like 14, maybe. Does that sound right? Just so like the Katara Aang romance doesn't get weird, and I don't know. I just like they did it on Game of Thrones. Like they aged up the kid characters from the books. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but also like what I mean, they could. Sure, but kids have feelings too.
Yeah, absolutely. I just specifically because there's like romance and like Sokka and Suki and Aang and Katara, like, I don't know. Some people think it's weird that it's like between a 12 and a 14-year-old, Aang and Katara. I don't know. But anyway.
Aang in the movie version.
Oh, in the crappy M. Night Shyamalan movie?
That crappy movie.
Okay. No, we do not talk about the M. Night Shyamalan movie here.
Okay.
We do not talk about that. Let's see. I mean, probably like 16. Something like that.
Okay, so then do we want to cast it like real age? Or do we want
I think
it doesn't matter their age?
I think anything like 18 to 20 or 21 is fine. Oh, you know what? Actually, for the purposes of our fantasy cast, Leah, let's do anything. Like, just pick any actor. Like,
I think it's going to be kind of difficult to like find, because of the way like the industry is, even though it's changing. I think there's not really any young up and coming Asian actors that are super well known yet. So it's going to be hard to find that in terms of like fantasy cast.
Yeah,
you're sure they will be able to find someone that's really amazing for the actual.
You're absolutely right. This was kind of an introductory thing. We don't have to spend a ton of time on casting, but I just wanted to say, like, for me personally, the show was such an integral part of my childhood. It really helped me kind of find myself. And now, with the help of all of you, my wonderful friends, I've started discovering more of my Asian American identity. We'll get to that later in the show, but I think I really hope that the live action show will cast appropriately, will show like an actual native or indigenous person playing Katara and Sokka and Hakoda and all of the Southern Northern Water tribes. We'll have Asian people in all the roles, and we'll have an Indian person playing Guru Patik, etc. Like, it's 2020, and this show is so revolutionary. We don't have to whitewash it. Helen,
should we go around and say who our fantasy cast would be for these 4 main characters?
Sure.
Or I guess 5, because we forgot Toph.
No, I said Toph.
I forgot Toph.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
All right. So fantasy cast is like you can pick any age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Helen, you want to start?
I can start. If you
Okay.
Sure. I want Aquafina to be Toph.
Yes.
I want you, Jessie, to be Sokka.
Perfect.
I really think like Simu Liu, who's casted to play the new Marvel superhero, the Asian one. I think he would be a really wonderful Zuko, even though I think he usually plays really nice guy. I think it would be cool to see him in like not evil, but like a little bit of an anti-hero in the beginning, but also like has a huge transformation during the show. I think it would be cool to see him in a role like that.
Yep.
Aang.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Ken
Jong.
I was about to say Ken Jong. I literally was about to say Ken Jong because like he's just Aang. He's just like perfectly Aang.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, guys.
The end.
I want like Manny Jacinto to be in there somewhere.
Oh my gosh, Manny
Like,
Jacinto
or Aang. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, who should Manny play? I mean, he's just so silly because we know him from The Good Place. I don't know.
Right.
Okay.
He would be a good Sokka, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
He would be a good Sokka.
Only second to Jessie.
Okay, I agree with all of Helen's casting, but the one actor that I have to add is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Yalitza Aparicio is the woman from Alfonso Cuarón's what was that? Oh, Roma. She's indigenous Mexican, and I think that would be really cool. And she was like one of the first, or I think the first indigenous actor to get nominated for an Oscar, right? Have you all seen Roma? It like was released.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and she plays like the main like the lead character in that. I don't know. I don't think she speaks English, and obviously the Netflix show. Well, I think the Netflix show will be shot in English, and also I don't know if people would want specifically an Inuit person to play Katara and I don't know, but she is an indigenous actress, and she's amazing, and like really made history when she got an Oscar nom for Roma. So I think she'd be, and also like her character in that movie is not complete, is like shares a little bit of similarity with Katara. Like she is like has experienced a ton of hardship, but is also like quiet yet powerful. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know if Katara's quiet.
I'm not quiet.
I think she speaks up when she definitely feels a certain amount like she has to speak up, you know? Like it's like she chooses to, she knows how to read a situation.
Maybe quiet
put
was
that way.
Maybe quiet was the wrong word. She's definitely not as extroverted as Aang. That's what I'm going for. I think this is a really good transition to. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Everyone hasn't.
Did you want to hear it? Or no? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Does someone want to add?
I just want to say that I like, you know, if we're not thinking about ages and stuff, like I really like Dante Bosco, like as Zuko personally.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's no reason why he shouldn't be cast as Zuko and like, you know, dream casting. Because I thought he was great.
Yep, no,
he can do that with voice. Like he definitely can do that. Like on screen,
I mean, everyone loves Dante Bosco. He's the main. Yeah,
that's all I really had.
Okay,
to be honest. So.
Julius and Michael, did you want to add or change?
I like the addition of Dante Bosco. I don't know why I'm like getting like Ronnie Chang. Like vibes, or like either like I don't know why, but like maybe even like a soccer or something.
Oh, Ronnie Chang! I love Ronnie Chang.
Me too.
Also, Julius, Dante Bosco is Filipino, right?
Yes, he is.
Woo-hoo!
I always remember him from Hook.
Wait, what is that?
I loved him on Hook.
I don't think I know.
Is that like Peter Pan movie with Robin Williams? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
R.I.P. Robin Williams.
Is it Lea Salonga could also be Katara?
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
In a musical version, someone write Avatar the musical.
Okay, but like right?
But she can do anything. She doesn't have to just.
They've written
she can do
SpongeBob
anything.
musical.
I
They
would
could
be like,
definitely write Avatar the musical.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it. I bet the rights have been purchased already. Okay. Are we cool on casting?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love all of the casting.
Okay. Yay! I really hope
these adorable portraits that Alice made for us. I'm just staring at them. They're so good. Can we
Yay! I'm glad.
Everyone, you probably came here from. Oh no! There we go.
what happened?
We're
back.
We're
Yeah.
back.
If you can't see all of the banner, you can find it on our Instagram, Facebook, on the event page, which is how we probably got here. And yeah, Alice Chung, it was the designer and did all the PR for this event. So claps for Alice. Yay. Okay, so you can probably let me hide the banner for a sec so you can see all of our element, and you can also see our personal pronouns if you want. Oh, look, and we all took a little bit of liberty. I wrote fire. Alice wrote fire with the emoji. Helen wrote a heart. Judith did all caps. And Cody and Michael are both air.
I love
They're
it.
like, yeah.
And
Okay,
the thing
so
is, I already drew them before they asked, or before they told me. Like, I just drew them as air. Like, they're both gonna be air.
because they're both like the airiest of air. Yeah.
No way.
Okay. So
I feel like, well, since we're talking about this is the question. I do agree that I'm air, but I also feel like I'm somewhat water. I think there's something like very similar about air and water, that it's like very flowy and not as like excited as fire, or as like solid as earth.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so if you're watching, here's the quiz. If you don't know what element you are, you can take that quiz. It's the best one that I found because it's like a good number of questions, and it gives you percentages for each element. Yeah, Helen?
Just to piggyback on what Michael said, I mean, it's exactly what Uncle Iroh said to Zuko when he was teaching him how to redirect lightning, right? People think that the 4 elements are separated, one or the other, but that's not true. Everything flows, all the elements flows into everyone. I mean, that's what I like love so much about this show. Like on the surface, we might seem that we're so different, but we're not. We all need to learn from each other, and there's a little bit of everything else in all of us. And same as goes with Harry Potter.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
honestly, I probably would have wanted to like get more episodes in regards to that, you know, like an origin, like not just like Avatar 1 stuff, but like how this balance and how the cycles and how the elements like really work, you know?
Where did it come from?
No, not where. Well, like I guess it includes that, but like in general, just like the balance of things. I feel like it was only kind of mentioned like through Iroh, or like through like people like the Order of the White Lotus, but like it was only kind of they were only scratching the surface.
Yeah, I think
you
it's.
know?
I think because Alice, a lot the origins of
This makes me
bending
think
are
of, like the turtles that Juan
the lion turtles.
got was given the powers from. Like, were the turtles all part of one unit at one point? Were they a family or something?
Whoa, I don't think that's been answered.
Cool.
I don't think that's been answered, but we do know. I honestly, I think that in the contemporary world of Avatar, you know, like before and after and during the 100 Years' War, the origins of bending are so far removed for everyone. And I mean, it was always over 10,000 years ago that, I mean, think about us. Like, we live in 2020. Like, do we know very much about, or do, you know, our you know, human civilizations from 8,000 years ago, or from 8,000 BC, much part of our consciousness? Not really. So I think that's why, I mean, there's stuff about the origins of bending, like in the lore, you know, on the Avatar wiki and stuff. But I think that the reason it's not really discussed in episodes, and why they had to do it with like an Avatar state flashback with Korra and Juan, is because a lot of people don't know. Yeah.
So that would be really cool. I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's in any of the canon comics. Maybe we could.
I mean, other avatars are, you know, there are comics about like Yang Chen and of course Kyoshi, but I know there are only there's Yang Chen's fire predecessor is named in the comics, and I think there's one more. I think the Earth Avatar before the Fire Avatar before Yang Chen is named. That's it. So we only know the names of like 8 or so avatars, and
I'm sure there will be more in the future.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, the Avatar Juan was 10,000 years ago. So if we can assume that avatars lived an average of like 80 years, that's like, I mean, it's like a ton of avatars. So,
yeah.
do Julie, since we're talking about bending. Okay. Oh yeah, you can hear. Let me take the banner off so you can see. Oh no, that made it worse. Okay, so you can see Julius is very clearly a swamp bender, and it's because he's from Texas.
Is that why? Hello. What?
Oh my God! Stop.
Okay. Our first very special performance for you this evening is Julius. Are you cool? Are you ready, Julius?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here's a funky Water Tribe tune.
Already. Set my lines by the riverbed. Caught 10 fish and I killed them dead. Cut 'em and gut 'em and I tossed the heads in the water to keep them catcators fed.
Yay!
Okay, so when we were planning this event, we discovered this song, which a lot of us had forgotten about because the swamp benders are forgotten so often. But then we were all like, "Oh my gosh, Julius is from Texas. The swamp benders are based on like Mississippi and like other southern. It's just perfect."
Okay, you need to stop thinking that because I'm from California and I feel bad for Texas that you say that. Like Texas is Texas, and then you have the South. Like that, I feel like that's different.
I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I'm from the South too. Okay, so I can.
We're like the beginning of the South.
I know.
The South.
I know. Okay, but hey. Richmond was the capital of the Confederate States of America. So, yes, it is more northern geographically than many other states. But hey, yeah, I know.
Sacramento is the capital of California, but it's like up there. That doesn't mean we're like. I'm just saying.
Okay. We're not gonna have U.S. geographical background.
# drunk on drama.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Julius. You're okay.
Yay, Julius.
Yay. Okay. So yeah, you're a swamp bender regardless of whether or not you're from Texas. I'll stop saying that. Okay. So this is a really cool. This is a super cool YouTube series, which was started by one of my favorite Avatar YouTubers, Antoine Bandelet. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And I would like to pose it now to our team. We can talk about it. And then if you're watching the chat, you can kind of take a little bit of time to think about this. And because it does involve some thought across both series and across some, if you know the other canon material. Okay, so basically, the situation is you're the next Avatar, and if everyone from the entire canon were alive, you could pick 4 people to be your bending masters for each element. So from any time period. The rules are you can pick an avatar, but they can only teach you their own element. So it's as if they were not the avatar. So Aang can teach air, Kyoshi can teach earth, Roku can teach fire, etc. So the criteria are their bending ability, their teaching ability, their spiritual capabilities, and how they would fit into your whole team of 4 legendary masters. I'm just going to show you the YouTube playlist by Antoine Bandelet, who's an amazing YouTuber. He's also a Black YouTuber, so that's something that we really like to support here at Where You Live Proudly, is Black-owned businesses and Black content creators. There are 11 videos that are part of this YouTube series, and each one of them picks a different series of 4 legendary masters. And I will start so that the rest of our team can think about who they want to pick. My 4 are Gyatso for air, Kyoshi for earth, Iroh for water, and...
Iroh for water?
No, Iroh for fire, and Noatak or Amon for water. Okay, so for those of you who know me, know that I love all of the antagonists from Korra. We'll get to that later in the show. That's one of the questions. And yes, I did pick a villain. What we can assume in this hypothetical scenario is that the personality characteristics of all of the antagonists are the same, but we can assume that they did not commit the evil deeds. Like, we can assume that, like, if you want to pick Sozin, that he didn't commit the genocide. If you want to pick Zahir, that he didn't actually try and assassinate Korra. He's like, their traits are just the same. So, does anyone have a team of 4?
Wait, can you repeat your 4 because internet?
Yeah, Gyatso for air, Kyoshi for earth, Iroh for fire, and Amon / Noatak for water.
I have to write mine down.
Okay, so while
you would pick Amon.
Of course I would pick Amon. Everyone in this group, everyone on the WYP team thinks I'm Amon because I love Amon. Okay, so basically, I think Iroh is the most obvious, so that doesn't need a ton of explaining. He's a badass. He's incredibly enlightened. He's really wise. He loves tea. He's great and joyful. I picked Gyatso because I picked Gyatso because he is fun but not undisciplined. I think Aang is a little bit undisciplined, and I think Tenzin is a little too disciplined. I thought about picking Jinora also, but I'm not sure that I would learn very well from a younger kid. What?
Aang was a younger kid.
No, sorry. Older Aang, like adult. I mean, because we see.
Jinora could be older too.
Okay,
and
that's true.
In terms of enlightenment, she's like eons ahead of her father.
Okay, you're very true. You're very right. You're very right. And then everyone knows that
roasted today.
Ooh, everyone knows that Kyoshi is my favorite character. Here's my shirt. I love Kyoshi so much. Bye, Pride. She's 6'6". She's a badass. She lived to age 230. She fucking beat the shit out of Chin the Conqueror. Okay, all right. Who has a team of 4 legendary masters that they want to... Alice.
I'll go. Okay, so for fire, obviously Iroh, because not only will you get fire, but he has such a good understanding of how like the other 4 elements work. And I feel like he would be such a good advisor. And then actually for air, I would probably pick Zahir.
Oh,
because
that makes sense.
He is a genius. I was actually just talking to someone about this, but like if he wasn't evil, if he was actually good, can you imagine like all the things that he would have accomplished? Like it would be mind-blowing. And he also like learned how to fly in like a couple of days.
A couple of weeks, yeah.
I mean, like, well, I guess once, right. But it's kind of awesome. So if he still had like all that time, like imagine what he could have done past that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then for Earth, I would absolutely have to say Toph, even though like Toph's like her teaching style is obviously very, very Earth, but she invented metal bending. If I'm gonna learn how to metal bend, I'm gonna want to learn it from her. You know what I mean? And
also,
then,
I feel like her learning style is very Alice.
Yes,
it is. It is not. It's a little.
It's like how
teaching. You mean her teaching style?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, and then for water, honestly, you know, it's more so the fact that I don't know about a lot of the other like past avatars, but I feel like Katara is actually very, very good. She covers like all the bases, I think, you know, because she actually did eventually learn how to blood bend. She did, not that I would like promote using it, but like she also knows how to heal. She I feel like I mean,
Katara was
really,
really
good.
Actually, both Katara and Toph were popular choices in this series. So
yeah, those would definitely be my 4.
Yeah. Anyone have a have a 4 next?
Well, I feel like I have very similar ones. I mean, Iroh is such an obvious choice. I don't know if there's anyone else that, you know, would be able to give you so much in addition to his firebending skill and teaching. I have so many that I'm like split between. I want to say like Boomy for her.
Boomy.
I feel like it'd be so crazy. I mean, he's such a like unique character in this series, and like he's so like cryptic that like he would like make you like make you figure out how to make it work. But also like I want to say Kuvira.
Oh yes, I love Kuvira so much. I love Kuvira.
Also, what is that called? Like secondary bending, where you have like the main bending, but then like metal bending, or
it's usually called like a specialty bending style, but
yeah, because I think that would be really really cool to learn in addition to things. So like, can I have Appa as my airbender?
Yeah, you can have Appa.
Awesome.
Yeah, some people
love that.
Some people picked
They're the original airbenders, right?
Yeah, some people picked Badger Moles for.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, because that's how
okay.
Toph learns.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Took my goat.
And then yeah, water. I don't really know. I want to say Minghua because she learned how to like grow water tentacles and use them so crazily.
Actually, that's funny, Michael, that you pick both Kuvira and Minghua, because Kuvira's earthbending style is one of the least traditional earthbending styles, because she dodges, she's super fast, she's not as grounded, she uses her arms a lot, whereas traditional earthbending styles are very grounded, they block a lot more than dodge, and they use their lower body a ton. And then Minghua has no arms, and most waterbenders, their most of their fighting style comes from arms and circular and upper body motion, whereas very, very few waterbenders use kicks and stuff like that. You see Korra use lower body in pro bending, but it's funny that you pick two benders who are very non-traditional in their styles.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, I think something about like that creativity that like you do get like the basic understanding of it, but you get some like different take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Vidita is here.
Yay!
Hi, Vidita. Hi, Vidita.
Yay!
Hi.
You made it.
Okay, so we're about. Actually, I was waiting for you to come on to play your performance, which I did sync, so we can hear. So actually, this will be Vidita's first time seeing it too. So, so we're talking about 4 legendary masters, and I think everyone's gone except Cody, right?
And me.
Oh, and Helen.
And Julius.
And Julius.
Oh, sorry. Okay, who wants to go next?
It's just been
me.
Cody, do you want to go next?
Okay, I'll go. Okay, so I also want to choose Iroh, because.
I'll quickly go.
Oh
no.
Oh, drama.
Oh, sorry. Are we having connection problems?
Sorry about the lag.
Yeah. Cody, you go first. Yeah. Oh no, they're getting lag. Julius, do you want to go first?
Yes, I choose Iroh because as an airbender, I think like if I were with a more volatile trainer that was like less grounded and more aware of the other and more connected to the other styles of bending, that my air would just cause so much fury in both of us. So I feel like he has such a calmness and connectedness and like more water in him than other firebenders or fire masters.
Yep,
And he's just like
absolutely.
the best character.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah,
He's
I definitely want to visit him. In the
Oh, no.
future, for sure.
I have
What's happening?
Oh no, we're getting
Cody
latency problems.
Cody is finishing up his group.
Yes.
Huh.
And I also choose Amon. Evil.
Interesting.
Yes.
So interesting.
Yes.
But like
No.
carries such a like an ability to communicate and like herd people, which I think is very powerful and crazy. I mean, there are so many things
He's a
I
master of
don't want to, like,
rhetoric.
connect myself to in him. Yeah.
Absolutely.
who else?
The young brother of Janora.
Milo.
Like
Milo!
I want him to be my teacher as a baby.
Oh my gosh, as a baby.
Milo's
As a baby.
like when
He's
still
so
missing-
creative.
When he's missing it.
He trains the lemurs.
I know.
And
Talent.
and he trains the new airbenders after Tenzin and Nora like give up.
He reminds me of Toph, actually.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I love
I loved
Milo.
it.
Of
Okay.
so stern. Yeah.
All right, Julius,
he
do you want to go
farted.
next?
That's fine.
He's
Much
so
Hmm.
He does fart bend. I forgot.
Yes.
Let's see. Julius might be having some latency. I'm going to try removing and then adding him back.
Oh,
Oh. Bye.
Let's see. Yeah, Julius is freezing a little bit. Vidita, do you have a team of 4 that you
Yeah.
want to?
Is
no.
my
Yeah.
connection fine right now? Oh god.
His internet connection.
Is my connection?
It's a little in and out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Julie.
Julius, you can. Why don't you type? You can type your.
Oh, he sent it through Facebook chat. So he said for fire, Iroh, which, right?
I think everyone's picked Iroh because yeah.
And then for water, Paku. And
Oh,
for
Paku
earth,
was a good one.
Yeah.
Toph. And then for air, Gyatso.
Gyatso, woohoo! I love Gyatso. Okay, can I say one thing about Gyatso that he is such a badass? Yeah, okay. But okay, look. When Aang discovers him in the Northern Air Temple, in the Southern Air Temple, yeah, Vidita, that's better. Oh wait.
Mm-mm.
No, it's not. Sorry.
No?
It's fine. It's not that bad.
How about now?
Oh, wait.
Better?
Julia said something about. Hold up. Also, Julia said that he can hear us. It's just his internet's being weird. He said, I think that having the difference between Toph and Gyatso in terms of their discipline is really interesting and would be very good.
Yes, Julius, I totally agree. Yeah, actually, Vidita, your sound is better now.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a team of 4?
Yeah, I mean, I'm choosing this off the top of my head, but I would probably choose, do I have to pick one from like each element or can
Yes,
it be
you do.
anything?
Yes, you have to.
Okay,
pick one.
okay. Okay, for water, I know this is probably like, I don't know, atypical, but if Hama were not like inherently evil, I think there would be so much to learn from her.
Yes.
Because I think in terms of like using water bending to understand the body, that could be such a like functional merit to have. because you could really like, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you guys already know this, but when I was in high school, it was around the time that I became like super obsessed with Avatar. And I would like read all of the fan fictions. It was a little cringe, but you know, it was a time. And there were so many fan fiction stories that would center around like Katara learning bloodbending, but struggling with this idea of whether it's like inherently good or bad. So I always thought that to be like a really interesting dichotomy, because there were like certain stories where she'd be hired as like a assassin or something to go and like stop the Fire Lord's heart or something, but then she would also be able to like save lives by being able to clot blood or like things like that. So I thought that would be interesting. Also, just, you know, being able to finding the technique of finding water everywhere, whether it's in like, plants or blah blah blah. So that's really cool. And I guess for fire, Zuko, because I love him. Not much else to say there. Air,
Vidita is in love with Zuko.
He's my only true love. And for air, it would have to be Aang. Aang or Jinora. I think there's so much of Aang in Jinora. But Jinora has like this sense of calm that I respect so much. I think she's so cool. And I guess for Earth, I don't know. Probably Lynn's sister. Why can't I remember her name? Sue.
Suyin, yeah. A lot of people pick Suyin. People love Suyin.
I love her. She has such a like sense of class and like style to everything she does. Like I would want to learn earthbending architecture from her. So there's my team.
And Helen. Oh wait, sorry, I muted you. Sorry, start again.
I'm muted. Okay, now I'm back. I'm sure this is gonna be a repeat of what a lot of what everyone else has said, but I think mine is also very much so based on like what type of teaching style everyone has. Having like had many different types of teachers in the past myself for various things, I feel like I respond to teachers that are much more grounded and are interested in like the psychology of people, and you know, like many different style rather than this is the way, just like do it. So I said Iroh obviously for fire, because he's like just like all encompassing. He sees so much. He sees all of the element. His view is so wide, and he understands people so well. So yay, Iroh. I think everyone pretty much picked Iroh. For air, I mean, like, yes, I think Zahir like probably is the greatest airbender of all time, but like I don't think if
that's a bold claim. That's a bold claim.
But like, I think, yeah, I'm like struggling between him and Gyatso, but I probably would go with Gyatso. Water, probably Katara. Yeah. And then I also need some tough love, but like a teacher that loves me at heart. So tough.
That's good. The classic,
I actually think, is the greatest earthbender of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, the classics are good. Okay, so
wait,
Alice,
I just want to say regarding to Hama, like I completely agree. Like especially like if we go into like Legend of Korra, and like Toph was also like, oh, like all of the poison actually isn't gone from your body, you know, like when they're in the swamp and stuff. And Hama would have been like the same way. Like she has such a really good understanding of that. So I just wanted to say like yes on that.
I love Hama. I love bloodbenders.
You would.
I know. People think I'm really like. I love all of the antagonists from ATLA. Okay, so now that Vidita is here, we're gonna premiere for I am the only one who's ever seen this video because I edited it at like 6:30. I think it's amazingly beautiful, and it is. Oh no! It has to be in a Chrome tab. Okay, it's fine. I'll upload it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we will. Let's go to the next discussion. Oh, actually, Michael and Cody, do you want to do Secret Tunnel?
Sure.
Yay.
Yes.
I'm just going to upload the video, Vidita.
Do it. This is pretty fast song.
Yeah, it's like 20 seconds. All right.
Okay, so here's our next performance, which is the best song from Avatar ever. Okay.
Secret Tunnel!
Two lovers forbidden from one another. War divides their people, and the mountain divides them apart. Built a path to be together.
And then what happens next?
Well, I forgot how this next
I
part
feel
goes.
like there was something that happens, like they build a tunnel.
And then
there was
think they
were
died. Secret tunnel through the mountain. Secret tunnel. Yeah.
Yay!
Yes! Oh my god, that was so cute.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Oh, they blacked out. Like this.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Awesome.
Okay, Secret
Yay!
Tunnel. Okay, we're done. No one else can sing today. Just Secret
Amazing.
Tunnel is just the best. No, okay. Okay,
Unbeatable.
so we're gonna Alice will just switch the order of these two segments. So because we just did Secret Tunnel, let's see who is your favorite supporting character from the whole? So basically, we're talking about not Aang, Katara, Zuko, Sokka, Toph, Iroh, Korra, Mako, Bolin, Asami, or Tenzin.
I feel like Iroh also, because we've talked enough about him.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Let's be real. Like,
So who's your favorite, like, more like minor character?
How minor? Like none of the masters?
Appa.
Yeah, just throw out anyone.
minor enough to not be made.
Papu? No.
I really think May is kind of like an underrated side character.
Yes, I totally agree.
I spent a long time hating her because I was in love with Zuko, obviously. Long time, very much disliking May. I was like, she's so boring. But she is one of the people that also has like a very significant arc in this show. And it kind of like, oh, am I muted? No, somebody can't hear me. Michael can't hear me. Can everybody hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. But yeah, I just really think like where she begins and how she is just bored and doesn't really challenge herself or do anything. She really kind of pushes her limits and ultimately chooses what she thinks is right instead of falling under the kind of control of other people, which is what she had always done. So I'm really proud of May. And in the end, like, they would not have won without her. So I love May.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Alice, we all know who your favorite secondary character or supporting character is. Does anyone have one that's not the Cabbage Man? Because we have a little segment on the Cabbage Man coming up.
In terms of like really, really tiny, the guy on Kyoshi Island, every time there's a crowd, he's like,
foaming mouth guy.
"Ah,"
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Foaming at the mouth guy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
If it's like a little bigger, I would say Pian Dao for me. I
Yes.
think some of my favorite characters
Oh wait.
in the show are.
But Helen, we have a who's your favorite non-bender question.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
He still isn't one of my favorite supporting characters.
Yeah, Pian Dao is the shit. Okay, you want to do the cabbage now? Okay, all right, okay. So Alice's favorite character by a lot is the Cabbage Man, and she asked us to put together a very short compilation of cabbage things that we can react to. So let's see if I can put everyone on screen. And yes, okay. Wait, where's Alice?
Oh,
yeah, there she is. There she is.
Here.
Okay. Yeah, so Alice's reactions is who we're gonna be watching.
Oh my god.
This first
I'm
one
so
is bad.
excited.
Cabbages! Cabbages! Cabbages!
Oh no.
Cabbages!
Oh.
Cabbages!
Lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Avatar attacked.
Oh my cabbages!
The last cabbage merchant.
My cabbages! My cabbages! My cabbages!
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
No! 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 My cabbages! No! My cabbages! No! My cabbages! My cabbages! My cabbages! This place is worse than Omashu! My Omashu! My Omashu! Cabbages! Oh, my cabbages!
Oh my
Oh, my
god.
cabbages! Oh, my cabbages! My cabbages! My cabbages!
oh my god.
My cabbages! My cabbages!
You're gonna pay for this! Pay for this! Pay for this!
Keep smiling.
My cabbages! My cabbages! My cabbages!
Oh, forget it!
Okay, so the next one, we're obviously we're not gonna watch a 13-minute video, but I just wanted to plug my very, very favorite Avatar YouTuber of all time, Hello Future Me. He is a writer and world builder. He's from New Zealand. He's a fabulous content creator, and this is a 13-minute video on a very, very serious very not kidding, the topic of cabbage economics in the world of Avatar.
I'm gonna love that.
It is amazing.
Does it have to
it.
do with like how the Cabbage Corps comes to be and like how they support the equalists and
It's
wow.
I love it.
Wow.
Okay.
Honestly, it didn't. That whole like dichotomy did not like click for me until I watched Korra like the second or third time, and I was like, oh, no wonder the cabbage merchants support Amon. It's because like bending ruined their business for so many years.
It's
Literally.
It's so cool. And then
so cool.
okay, so I highly recommend you check out this video. Here,
Cool.
I'll put the link in the chat.
Love that.
Okay, so
This
the
is the
last
same guy that does the Psychology of Azula video.
yes.
Okay, yeah, he's cool. I like
He's
him.
amazing. Okay, so the last thing is just a picture, and it's something that Alice herself sent me, and well, you'll just see.
Oh god, I don't remember this. I'm scared.
Here we go. It's called "A Truck Overturned This Morning, Spilling Cabbage All Over the Highway. It was horrific. I saw it happen." And this was just from a week ago. Okay, now Alice has to do her best impression of the Cabbage Man.
Oh god, that's so much pressure. Now my cabbages!
He did not bring a real cabbage.
I got one cabbage because I mean, what the fuck am I gonna do? Oh, am I allowed to say that? What am I gonna do with
Yeah, sure, whatever.
more than one cabbage? But My hands smell like cabbages now. Okay, go away.
You can put it in your
That's it.
kombucha. Just kidding.
Ew.
We cannot.
That was
No.
Alice's performance for tonight.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
inspired. I'm inspired. Honestly, the commitment to your role.
I will
like, brings
not be here all night.
Okay, so
Incredible.
Vidita, do you wanna introduce your song?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I wanted to say it's so good to see you all in person. Because I only know Jesse and Helen like in real life, so it's nice to see you all. And I think what you're doing is so
Yay!
fun. It's so awesome, and it's my honor to be here, even though I'm not part of the original squad. So when I was, like I mentioned, Avatar was like my thing when I was in high school, and for whatever reason, I really resonated with this winter, spring, summer, and fall song. But besides that, my favorite like musical element of the show is less in like the songs themselves, but like in the theme music. Like my sister and I would listen to the soundtracks all the time, and they're all very like epic. So I thought I would kind of like mash up the theme from Legend of Korra, which is very beautiful, with this little winter, spring, summer, and fall song. And I sang a little bit on top of it. I wasn't originally going to be able to be here, so I pre-recorded it, and I don't know. I didn't get to spend too much time on it, so it might sound weird, but ultimately I hope it sounds good, and I hope everybody will enjoy it.
It's amazing. Okay.
That's all.
Oh crap! I didn't click share audio. Come on, StreamYard. I mean, come on, Jesse. Okay. There we go.
Yay! That was so beautiful.
Yay!
That was so pretty.
Gosh.
Alice started like getting emotional after like 5
Literally
seconds.
2 bars.
It's just such like a, I don't know, like I feel like they present that song as like a silly like ditty or something, like just one of the songs we sing on the ship on music night. But I don't know, like something about it is very nostalgic to me. I always just
Super
really liked
nostalgic.
it.
I don't know if it's something about the harmony or
Yeah.
it's something about like the lyrics are super simple, but I think that the seasons really speak to like really have a lot of meaning in the universe of Avatar. I don't know. It's
definitely, or how they might correspond with the elements. I don't know. And
Yeah.
Iroh sings it, so anything
I
Iroh
think
sings
it's like
is
a cycle
always...
of life, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
and it's just like the continuous, whether it's like, you know, bender or non-bender, and like, or, you know, the cycle of the Avatar, like, it just, yeah, I think it's beautiful. I loved it.
Yay. Thanks for recording that, Vidita. It was really great. Actually, so since Alice just mentioned it, this is a cool one that Helen and I talked about, and that I think is overlooked a lot in the world of Avatar. Like, a lot of people are not benders. In fact, the air nomads are the only ones where everyone in their nation, race, ethnicity is a bender. So there's so many. Oh, Helen, did you want?
Vidita has to leave.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks, Vidita.
I got caught in a weird situation, but I'm so glad that I got to drop in at least for a little bit, and I can't wait to watch this later. So thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I think non-benders are so overlooked and are so, I don't know. There are so many amazing ones. My favorite is Piandao. I'll just start. He is the epitome of dignity and class and skill, and the fact that they included him in the Order of the White Lotus and the Liberation of Ba Sing Se was such a nice touch. I really love that. So, anyone else have a fave?
I mean, I also love Piandao, and I think it's just something really wonderful for Sokka to look up to, because I mean, his whole thing is he was being teased so much for being a non-bender.
Yeah.
And it's just really amazing for him and for all of us to see someone that's not a bender that's plus equally as badass. And Sokka is also one of my favorite characters in this whole show. I think he like made the show, honestly.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. And what else? Who else? Boomy the second.
Oh yeah.
Aang and Katara's son is also like one of my favorite non-benders, but I think non-bender for most of his life, and then
yeah, of course,
yeah. But I see so much of Sokka in him and Boomy in him.
Mm-hmm.
And he became the first like military general that's not a bender. Like, what a non-bender don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with like the Boomy and Sokka thing, because Sokka's also, he's without his like strategy and like tactics, like, you know, you're just kind of like fire aiming at fire, you know? And it's just so important to have that, and he was able to like get to the top because of his mind, and because of he also trained and he knew a lot about bending, so that helped him in terms of when it comes to how non-benders can live. And for Boomy as well, I just love that I see so much of Sokka and Boomy, and like the whole like sibling relationship. I love that. Man, those two.
I don't know if they're underappreciated, but Suki and the Kyoshi warriors.
Oh yeah.
Like, no bending and still are so powerful and skilled and technical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about the cabbages, Alice?
The cabbages didn't need to bend, obviously. They were bended for, like, people bended for them. The poor, unfortunate cabbages. Like, my favorite video out of all of that is probably like when like all of them comes through, and then like he's saving the cabbages, and then like Aang goes through the middle of the actual cart and then uses the cart of cabbages to like block the other people. I'm like, that's terrible. I mean, but we see that in like action movies all the time, right?
Yeah.
But anyway. Poor victim.
Yeah, Suki is a popular choice for non-benders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for favorite non-bender. Okay, so we have. Oh, sorry, Michael.
I was just gonna add Ty Lee to that because I think the chi blocking is like so crazy. I would want her as part of my legendary masters to
absolutely. Okay, so actually. That's a perfect seg because we have a theory we have a theory proposition. Was Ty Lee an airbender? So if you're not familiar with this theory, it's basically that she moves like an air. She doesn't fight like a Fire Nation. She fights like an airbender. She's very evasive. She's super light on her feet. She dodges a lot. She's incredibly acrobatic. Some people have analyzed her facial features in the context of no, I'm serious. I'm serious. Okay, so
no, I believe that's what I'm saying.
I thought the theory is that she has like some airbender ancestry.
Yes. Okay.
And just because you have some airbender ancestry does not make you an airbender. Just like well, I mean, Kyoshi, she's the avatar, but she also has airbender ancestry, and airbending is not her first element. She's she's born.
You're right. Kyoshi's mother was an airbender, and yes, I do not believe that Ty Lee was like a secret airbender and survivor of the 100-Year War, and she could actually airbend and chose to conceal it. But I do think that she was descended from air nomads who were likely refugees in the Fire Nation. You know, because the air nomads were so nomadic, because not all of them lived at the four temples during the genocide. They probably, a prominent theory is that not every single one other than Aang survived the genocide, and that some of them escaped and took into hiding, and eventually, their descendants could not airbend, but they still had a lot of qualities that air nomads and airbenders have. So,
but we have to put a disclaimer. This is non-canon. It's like purely theory.
Yeah. The creators have not confirmed any of this.
Purely fan theory. Yes, Alice.
Wasn't there something about airbenders having to live in the air temples, one of the air temples, in order to kind of, I don't know. I felt like somewhere I heard something like that. Or I don't know. And then when people, if they did escape and they weren't living in the air temples, that's when they kind of like lost touch, so to speak.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the culture and the training happened at the air temples, but air nomads did live outside. Did live outside of the temples. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's in the lore, in the canon, how much that they ventured outside of them, but they definitely did. Okay, so our second theory in this segment is who is Suyin's father. Helen has a really hot take on this that we talked about, but does anyone have? Okay, if you're not familiar, if you haven't watched fan theory videos on this, can you guess who the most common?
So let's just clarify that Suyin is the daughter of Toph.
Right. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. So it is set up in the story that we know who Lin's father is. Toph's first partner, husband. Yeah. His name is Kanto.
Okay.
Toph just says we didn't get along. And then Bolin asks Toph, wait, who's Suyin's father? And Lin shoots Bolin like a death stare, so we are, the audience is meant to not know who Suyin's father is. And yes, Alice is correct. The most common theory is that Sokka is Suyin's father. So
I feel like, well, I mean, because like Sokka, spoiler alert, I mean, for all of this, but like for people who haven't watched it, but like Suki, like Sokka loses Suki, and then I feel like, and Toph didn't have like her partner anymore, and like, you know, and they are good friends, and who knows, like I know there was like a little bit more to that, or they hinted at that in like in Avatar. You know?
they did. They definitely dropped clues that Toph at least had a crush on Sokka.
Right. So my theory is, well, a lot of the fan theory, they think Sokka might be the father because if you look at the children, or one of the sons of Suyin, he like kind of looked like Sokka a little bit and had very similar hairstyles. But okay, there's no record of what happened to Suki. So like, I don't want to believe that they broke up because they went through a lot of shit together. My theory is that Suyin is actually the daughter of Sokka and Suki. And there's a Su in both of their names. And also, if you look at Suki's facial feature and Suyin's facial feature, it actually does look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And then Helen's theory would be that Toph adopted
Suyin. And then Jesse did say, well, but there are two non-benders and how that happened. But also it doesn't matter if you're a bender or not. It's not genetic. Or I mean it matters like what nation you're from. That's what whatever bending that can come out. But Katara's parents, neither of them are benders either. Mm-hmm. And she is a bender.
Right. So Suyin would have inherited her earthbending from Suki.
From Suki. Yep.
Yeah. I like that. That's a cool theory, especially for Sokka and Suki shippers who kind of don't like Taka or Soph. No, Taka. Yeah, is the ship name. But I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a the Sokka. There are a ton of fan theory YouTube videos on Sokka being Suyin's father. So go check that out. Especially on all the YouTube channels in the For Legendary Masters playlist. All of those content creators are really great. Let's see. What is our next? What should we? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go to kind of a big one, which we can talk about for a few minutes. This is something that I am particularly passionate about and that I found particularly appealing about Legend of Korra. Most of these things are in Legend of Korra. Egalitarianism, spiritual purity, anarchy, military consolidation, and nuclear weapons. Those apply to the four antagonists of each book. Egalitarianism is Iman, spiritual purity is Unalaq, anarchy is Zahir, military consolidation, nuclear weapons is Kovira, and then classism, like all of the wealth inequality in Ba Sing Se in Republic City, which leads to the equalist movement, and then the kind of broad concept of industrialization that happens in Legend of Korra. I only saw Legend of Korra for the very first time a few months ago, and I found it incredibly relevant now in 2020, talking about issues of classism, capitalism, wealth inequality, and general like socio-political and social justice issues. Obviously, the creators, Brian and Mike, and Nickelodeon in general, intended for Legend of Korra to be for a little bit more mature audience than Avatar: The Last Airbender. But I love how many macro philosophical elements they put in this show. So, any commentary or appreciation or criticism? Yeah. Alice had a really valid criticism of some things in here.
I mean, well, it's more so like an observation, like after watching it for the second time. Just in general, I think about like Legend of Korra, like it was clearly like, you know, you wanted to show like there is like a technological push and like the Industrial Revolution type of thing. And it was very much so imaged after American experiences. You know, I feel like ATLA was a lot more like they a little more than dabbled in the Asian universe and the Asian history, and with all of this industrial revolution and like all of the sociopolitical theories and things like that, it was very much American. Even how the characters are, like their personalities and their cultures, and there's like a hodgepodge of things, and I didn't know that before, but it just seemed so far off, even though it was only just like a generation or 2 generations after
it's 70 years, 70.
Yeah. So like I thought that was really interesting to see all that. I mean, it was kind of jam-packed with everything in that regard, but just like the industrialization of things, and how, well, there's actually something else that I realized about Ba Sing Se, when like the Earth Queen asked for her territory back, because they divided the territories, like the nations, into so that it would be more equal, I guess, in the amount, which was done by Aang, but like that actually made me realize, like, this reminds me of like the end of the Korean War, where like the Americans divided North and South Korea, you know, without any like more talks and things. And so it was just interesting to see how much history and culture, American culture, was put into Legend of Korra versus before in ATLA.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar, Republic City was modeled on New York City in the 1920s. I think it's an incredibly valid criticism that, you know, it was more American based and more kind of white Caucasian culture based than ATLA was. I'm not arguing one side or the other, but the counter argument is just that it was only one city. I mean, a lot of Legend of Korra did take place in Republic City, but it was significantly industrially ahead of most of the rest of the world. So, and, you know, a lot of the scenes like in the Southern Water Tribe and the Northern Water Tribe and, you know, in the forest with Toph and stuff like that are less focused on American influence. So, Helen, did you want to?
No, I think Michael, Cody, and Julius should.
Oh, yeah.
First, because I talked enough. I feel like.
No, please go.
No, go ahead.
I have one little thing that seemed very interesting to me. The like the movement led by Amon, like anti bending and
the equalist movement.
Equalist movement, yeah. And I can't help but equate it to like a reality television star being the head of our like being president of our country.
Yep.
And actually the power that holds, and like the potential that holds for equalizing things and putting so politicians or benders no longer hold such a manipulative power, but whatever. I have no conclusive ideas about that, but I also watched it this year, probably like
a few weeks
3 weeks ago, and that was just something that really stuck out to me. And it made me think like, okay, well, if I'm equating it to politics, then how do we make sure that there are politicians or benders, people with power, that are genuinely interested in creating an actually equalist movement?
Yeah. I think all of these concepts, egalitarianism, anarchy, militant, but they're meant to be more ambiguous than the than, for example, Ozai's philosophy, Sozin and Ozai's philosophy. In ATLA, it was just genocide. Period. It was just kill them all, you know. But the creators have stated, like, we meant for all of the antagonists of Legend of Korra, and I call them antagonists instead of villains, because I think as an audience we're meant to see how they arrived at their ideology. Maybe not their methodology, but definitely their ideology. Seeing these injustices, these marginalized communities, and seeing how non-benders are oppressed, and seeing how the lower class of Republic City is oppressed, and I put here classism, capitalism, a lot of the things that we experience on America today and across the world today. I think we're meant to empathize and relate to the motives of Amon and Sahir and the rest of the antagonists in some way. Likely not the methodology, but definitely the ideology.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Helen.
Go ahead.
I mean, to piggyback on what everyone has said, I think one of the reasons why I love these two shows so much, is that when they present a quote unquote villain, you see all sides of them. You see how they arrived how they become the way they are at that point. And it's not necessarily evil, it's just they happen to arrive at that point, and from this particular point of view, they might be harming others. I just think it's like extremely relevant to everything that is happening in the world. In a world where everything is so black and white, especially on the internet, if you're with me, you're not with them. And this show just like makes you and allows you to see things in a multi-dimensional kind of way. One of the things I love, it's not like really in Legend of Korra, but it's in the canon in one of the comic books. It happens right before Legend of Korra. It talks about basically immediately after Aang and has fought Sozin?
No, Ozai.
And they try to consolidate like the Earth Kingdom colonies that Fire Nation has colonized, and they don't really want to, the people has like been out for too long, and like the culture has changed
for 100 years.
Right. And it doesn't quite feel right to go back, to the Earth Nation. It doesn't quite feel right to go back to the Fire Nation either. That doesn't feel right either. So then like they had to come up with a solution. I mean, essentially that's where Republic City come about. I mean, I don't really want to go into real world politics too much, but like those things are happening in the world today. And it's just sad that, people can see the reasons in cartoon, but they can't see it in real world.
Helen, I could not agree with you more. And look, the fact that, I mean, obviously we shouldn't talk about, we can't endorse political candidates or parties or anything like that. But the fact that so many direct parallels can be drawn between these issues in both shows and across the canon of the Avatar universe and current contemporary 2020 American and global politics and socio-political issues speaks to, I think, the power of the show and how timeless it is, and how relevant a lot of the kind of macro philosophical concepts like the ones that are on the screen right now, that they talk about. It's just the writing is really brilliant, but I think more so than the writing, the world building and the development of the universe and how real these concepts are is a testament to the kind of power of the show. I think that Helen, go.
I was just gonna say, like, this show, it didn't present, let's say, Aang as a perfect avatar. Not at all. If you look at Legend of Korra, a lot of the issues that happens in that world, it's because
are Aang's fault. Yeah.
And like that's okay. It just made the character much more human. We make mistakes and that's okay. But just know that there will be consequences in the future.
Absolutely. Alice.
And like I think overarchingly, like the things that really tie Avatar: The Last Airbender to Legend of Korra is no matter what time period you're in, no matter what societies you're dealing with, it's about balance. It's not about going all of the antagonists that you find, like, you know, they had their own ideologies, but they took it beyond what the point of okay would be. They sacrificed a lot of human values, a lot of balance in order to achieve their goals. And no matter like what you like, look at Kuvira, like, you know, she wanted to, I mean, all of them, but like she wanted it for the betterment of all society, but it was being done in a terribly not fair way, let's just put it that way. But point is, it's not good to just go all the way into one direction. You have to be able to see it from different perspectives. You have to be able to have a balance of things, to have open communication.
I think Iroh, of all of the characters in the entire canon, most of all would understand and relate to the motives of all four antagonists in Legend of Korra, and yet would also try and stop them very vehemently, because you're exactly right, Alice, that their actions, regardless of their intent and motives, disturb the balance of the four nations, of the four elements of nature, of the spirit world and the human world, of everything that the creators set up in the Avatar universe to be yin and yang, good and evil, light and dark, you know, the four nations that live together in harmony, like Katara says in the intro.
Was there even a character that was remotely like Iroh in the Legend of Korra?
Iroh. I mean, that's why they wrote him in.
Right, but Iroh. Well, yes, but
no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Jinora.
I don't think so. And I think,
Jinora?
Yes,
maybe?
but Jinora was still a child. And
yeah,
Iroh also was like, he was in the middle of his career. Like there was no one who really could be that figure for anyone.
No, there's no one like Iroh. That's why I think that's why they knew that they had to put him in, because he was such a beloved Toph. Wait, who? Toph? Old Toph? Oh, maybe, you know, the Toph in the swamp. Yeah. Maybe.
Toph knows more, but she's very earth, and I think she can be very stuck in her ways. Like she is very much earth.
But
she's so stubborn.
Because even though she's old, she could easily like stay in her ways, and that would be so easy for her. But she still like wants to have a relationship with her daughter. I love how that's just so human. Like there's never a point where you're gonna stop making mistakes and stop learning how to love people better.
Cody, I have to say, one of my favorite lines from LOK is Toph saying, you know, I may not have been the greatest mother, but I did, you know, turn out two great daughters. And if you both don't ever love me, I think that's okay, but maybe you can learn not to hate me. I mean, that spoke to me, you know, having, you know, my parents are divorced. I didn't have, you know, a particularly, you know, like sunny childhood. And I think the relationship between Lin and Suyin, and Lin and Toph, and Suyin and Toph is just so well written. I also do have to make a brief comment about the family relationship between Bumi, Kaya, and Tenzin, which I think is also brilliantly written. I just think it is so real, so relatable. just amazing. Yeah. So let's go to Helen, thank you. Let's go. I think that's like a good transition to our final segment, which is one of the most important things in the show, which is Asian representation. How we, as for people who identify as Asian or Asian American, as an Asian organization, and as people appreciating the show, both as kids and now going forward, like, what are our kids going to think of Avatar and LOK, and how important it was to see this kind of thing on screen in a kids show?
I mean, I'm still shocked. Sorry. I just want to say, I'm still shocked how, like, the casting of the M... I'm not supposed to say it, but can I just...
Yeah, the terrible movie. The terrible movie.
I think you should talk about it.
You can.
Yes, because it was, it wasn't that long ago, number one. And of a person who, like, the director was a person of color himself. And it's just shocking to me that, like, that's what ended up happening. Like, that's how it was casted. Yeah. Did literally no one think of that? I just wanted to, rage for a hot second, because it really does matter. It truly represents not just representation, but like how you can't ignore the fact that there are certain people or the system is how it is right now. You can't ignore that fact and cast. There's no excuse for it anymore. There shouldn't have been excuses for it in general from the past, but there's no excuse now. So whatever Netflix ends up doing, like, let's be real. If it's not the way that people want it, there will be a lot of rage. I hope there's a lot of rage.
If you saw, if our viewers saw Janine Morita Coletti's set in our Emmy and Harry's Cabaret, she would say that they're just going to cast Scarlett Johansson in every role. Netflix, if you're listening, in the tiny chance that someone from Netflix is listening to our Where You'll Probably live stream, please don't cast Scarlett Johansson in this show. Yeah.
Well, see, for the movie that was made, like, I would be surprised if it wasn't given any thought. Like, I would think you would have to give that some thought, and I'm wondering if it came down to if it came down to money, and they thought, is this movie going to make money? Because they thought people would be more likely to see it, or white people would be more likely to see it if there were white people.
Ridiculous. I think it's a ridiculous, belief that clearly in recent years have been proven wrong.
Right.
And yes. I feel like Netflix has done a better job in terms of showing and like representing people of color and like these shows that are also on there. So I really hope that, I have a lot of hope still in terms of casting. It was terrible that, like, the original writers obviously couldn't be, chose not to be a part of it. And it makes me wonder, and it makes me scared. Right. Why? And I hope that that's not the reason.
Did they comment on why they were not part of it? I don't know.
They said artistic differences.
Yeah. Helen, I want to, since this is an extended topic, I'm going to break it up with the Leaves from the Vine video now. But when we get back from this, I'll just briefly mention your post about Mulan and how that ties into whitewashing and Asian representation and stuff like that. So our second to last performance is one of mine. This is one that I did back for Memorial Day. And it is, I don't know. I think Secret Tunnel is the best song, but a lot of people think this is the best song from the Avatar universe. Yeah, and this has actually additional lyrics which I looked up, and I do anyway, you'll hear the arrangement. So here's Leaves from the Vine. Leaves from the vine, falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy comes marching home. Those leaves did grow from branches overgrown, drifting slowly down, resting on the lawn. Little soldier boy, taken from home, forced to fight a war that's not his own. Leaves from the vine, falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy says, carry me home. Sleeping soldier boy is carried home. Leaves from the vine, falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy, come marching home. Brave soldier boy comes marching home.
Oh wait, can't unmute it. Yay!
I don't know if you all have seen.
I know.
If you've seen the videos, you know, I was saying Leaves from the Vine and try not to cry, but you should watch those on YouTube. You very rarely don't cry. It's
that episode kills me every time.
Yeah, we had a topic discussion of discuss your favorite episode, but it would be too long, and we're already long. So I just want to yeah, I know. It's just Tales of Bossing Say. Tales of Bossing Say. Okay, that's it. So I wanted to have Helen just briefly mention our comments about what real, respectful, authentic, genuine representation of Asian culture and stories and language and everything like that means in Western and particularly American media, in the context of both ATLA and LOK as well as Mulan and other Asian content. Did you want to?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I love this show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, so much and the fact that it's so well embraced in the Asian community is that it's so well researched and it's done with the utmost respect to the culture. If you look at how the characters are drawn, they're clearly Asian, but you know, the traditional American cartoon portrayal of Asians is not in that. If you were to look at Mulan, those like slanty eyes are everywhere. I'm sorry. That's not okay. I have Chinese friends that said to me, oh, I've never seen Mulan, the animated movie, because I thought the characters are too ugly. And I like, no one looks like that.
Aww.
Why were we drawn like that? And actors are, it's just like beautifully drawn, but they're still clearly Asian. All the words are real Chinese characters. Even if you were to look at Jackie Chan, the animated series, I don't know if you guys remember that. Those are fake words. I'm sorry. Like,
wow.
Why? I think when I watch these two shows, not for one, even though it's done by two Americans, not for once I'm like, oh, this is an American show. Oh, this is an exotic portrayal of Asian characters. It honestly feels like, almost feels like I'm watching a Kung Fu movie in China in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you don't know, for viewers that don't know, when they storyboard the fight scenes, you know, the pro bending scenes, all of the battles, you know, Toph, Aang, Azula and versus Zuko / Katara, Aang versus Ozai, they actually use real martial artists that they, you know, they'll have a choreographer with the director, and they'll have, you know, they'll shoot the martial artist, and then they'll storyboard the same moves. Obviously, you know, they can't fly and do as many things, but a lot of similar moves they'll actually, you know, use the exact choreography that real martial artists, and you know, they'll bring different martial artists for the different styles of bending that were influenced by real Asian styles of martial arts. So,
wait, can I finish what I'm gonna say?
And
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Alice.
Okay, I was just gonna say, so if you happen to tune in, or you can always go on YouTube and see promo videos of our Shaolin master.
Yes.
There's a video of him. Yes, there's a video of him, just like a clip of him showing these moves, and we were all freaking out because we were like, oh my God, that's water bending. Oh my God, that's fire bending. Oh my God, that's earth. It was just so amazing to see, because it wasn't, you know, it was all inspired from actual practices. That's what was amazing to see, as well as clearly the cultures were well researched.
So I think it's important, you know, to actually feel seen in a piece of art, in a cartoon, in a show. I mean, the messages that they talk about, it's all universal. It's everything. It's something that, you know, every person in the world we experience. As we said before, it's real problems. It's real world politics. It's human. We all want to be seen. Why do we want to be, you know, presented as a caricature? And I think you guys, all of you guys here know how I felt about the most recent live action Mulan movie. Other than the first couple minutes, I got to watch it actually on the Chinese website. And then you have the option of turning on like people's live comments. And it's just like ridiculous. It was like, I literally watched it like a comedy. No. Everyone was like, oh, so like qi, like they kept talking about qi, right? If you were to translate it into Chinese,
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, sorry. They talk about qi. They talk about qi everywhere.
Okay.
That's all you need to know.
Watch it.
But if you like really
I'm still gonna
translate
watch
it
it.
directly into Chinese, it means gas. Qi means gas.
Oh no.
So we were like,
She's no different than Milo fart bending.
Ah!
so we were like, why is there so much gas? Like everyone's like, why is there so much gas going on? Yeah, there's some stuff
dead.
that's so ridiculous to a Chinese person that you're like, no. Like no.
Okay, so does anyone have closing thoughts on Asian representation before we go to Helen's closing performance, her final performance? I think it was a really formative show for me, and I know that it is for a lot of our viewers, a lot of my friends and family who love ATLA and LOK, and a lot of Asian American Pacific Islander people, a lot of Asian people, a lot of fans around the world. Yeah. So before we go to Helen's final performance, she'll tell you a little bit about. Cody.
Can I say a little something? So
yeah, please.
Thank you so much for having me and for inviting me. This was awesome to hear all y'all. I mean, y'all like actually know the show, and this was amazing to hear like all of this research and all of this commitment from each of you, and to hear all of that heart. Now, I didn't realize I used to watch this show with Avatar: The Last Airbender with my younger brother, and we haven't spoken about it since we were watching it when it was coming out on Nickelodeon. But he commented, and now he's commenting like, I'll take Momo, and like all of these things. I didn't realize that he was even like
a fan.
That's awesome.
So now we have something else to talk about. So thank you for
it. Really, I think this show transcends age, class, gender, race, religion,
nations.
Everything. This show is so universal, so timeless, so well written, so well researched. There are tons of valid criticisms, about weird relationship writing in ATLA, and about lacking of character development in LOK, but I think the prominence and the widespread popularity of it, and how well it's critically acclaimed, and how much people realize how important and relevant this show is, just speaks to the timelessness and the mastery of the show. So, Helen, do you want to explain a little bit about the final song?
Yeah, sure. So this is The Girl from Ba Sing Se. It's another song that Iroh sings when he and Zuko are on the street, right?
In Ba Sing Se, yeah.
In Ba Sing Se, literally begging for food, and he was General Iroh, and he doesn't care. Yeah, it's he needed to do what he needed to do. And also it's just a really beautiful song. And Jessie has rewrote a second verse for me. The Girl from Beijing for me. So I'll sing both of the verses. Do you want to add anything to that, Jessie? Are you okay?
No, that's great. That's great.
It's a long, long way to Ba Sing Se, but the girls in the city, they look so pretty. At and they kiss so sweet that you've really got to meet the girls from Ba Sing Se. It's a long, long way home. Ah! It died. I'm just gonna sing it. It's a long, long way home to Beijing, but don't you worry, I still will sing. And I sing so sweet that you really got to meet the girl from Beijing.
Yay!
Sorry, the track died halfway.
No, that's okay.
It's okay. I loved it.
So pretty though.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please tune in for future content. We upload every Monday. Follow us on Instagram at Wear Yellow Proudly. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/wearyellowproudly. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And stay safe and watch ATLA and LOK. Yay! Bye, everyone.
Yay!
Hashtag drama.
Yes.